So I'm going to show you guys how to stress test your CPU. And what a stress test is, it's where a program sends large amounts of data through your processor at once and gives it a full load of data. And what this does is it pushes your computer to its maximum potential. And the reason people stress test mainly is after you overclock. You want to run like a 24-hour stress test to make sure that your computer can handle the new voltages and new wattage it's drawing. So the first thing that you're going to want to do in order to stress test your computer is get some monitoring programs for like your temperatures and voltages and stuff like that. And I'm actually going to show you 3 of them that I use. So what we're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to Google and type in CPU ID and go to the first website that comes up. And go to software once you're here. And you're going to want to download CPU-Z. And what this is just a general like CPU information poller, basically. Tells you everything about your CPU and stuff like that. So once you download that and open it, it should open up just like regular program. I don't even think there's a setup for it. And basically what this is going to tell you is everything you could ever possibly want to know about your computer. So this is going to give me my processor name, how much wattage it's supposed to pull, the technology size, the core voltage, the family of processor, the instruction set, how it all works. And down here it's going to give you your core speed, and this is mainly what you want to look at. You can see with mine it jumps between 1.4 gigahertz and 3.6, and that's just because I have AMD's Turbo Boost core technology on, so it goes down to save power when it's not being used a lot. And it's also going to give you all your cache data and how big your cache sizes are, and your cores and the threads. So I have a 6-core processor. I'm running 6 threads. Quad core would say 4, obviously. Dual would say 2. And here's just more information about your caches. I actually have an L3 cache. A lot of the old motherboards don't even have an L2 or have an L3 cache. Motherboard information gives me my manufacturer, model of it, what chipset it's running, Southbridge. So this is all like good information to know if anything gets broken or you ever need to like find certain things about your motherboard. Gives you the BIOS version if you ever, I don't know, have a bad flash or something like that. It's also going to tell you all about your RAM. So I'm running DDR3 RAM, 8 gigs of it. It's going to give you your frequencies and your timings for everything. I don't really know much about RAM timings, but if you're overclocking your RAM, you should probably know a little bit more about your timings. This is just going to give you a slot per slot view of your RAM. So I have 4 slots, and my third and fourth one are empty, but my first one both have a 4 gigabyte stick in it. And it's going to give you the bandwidth of your RAM, the manufacturer, the exact part number, right on here. You know how much voltage it's pulling. And last but not least, it's going to show you your graphics card manufacturer and the core speed, shader speed, and memory speed, and the size of the memory. And this is pretty common after you do like a good overclock to validate your CPU-Z, and that basically what it does is it just saves a screenshot. And a lot of people do it when they reach like 5 gigahertz or some big overclocking like milestone. So after you get CPU-Z up and running, you're going to want to go back to that website you're on, go back to software, and download Hardware Monitor Pro. And this is just your basic temperature sensor app, I guess. So you download it, open it up, no setup or anything, and just not really much you can do besides just look at it. It's going to give you the voltages of your motherboard and power supply, temperature, so your north bridge and south bridge, fan RPMs, percentages of your CPU fan and case fans, temperature of each individual core, how much power your motherboard and your CPU are pulling together, the temperature of each hard drive in your computer, and the voltage of your graphics card, as well as the temperature of it, and the fan RPMs, and the speed. And this is just your basic temperature app, and all it is really is to tell you if you're going way too high with your overclocking. Like 197 degrees Fahrenheit is pretty good and safe temperature. Anything above 180 degrees Fahrenheit is considered dangerous. But it's not uncommon to see graphics cards running at 160 to 170. So that's one of the apps you probably want to have up in your stress testing. The third app you want to have up when you're stress testing, I think, is Resource Monitor. And this is actually built into every copy of Windows 7. Just go to your search bar and type in resource. Should come right up. And this is just a app that shows your processes, your CPU's frequency. So I'm at 91% of the frequency my computer could go to. And CPU usage, and which apps are using how much of the computer. So as you can see, I'm running this cam recording program. Right now it's using 5% of my CPU and running 19 threads. And yeah, so this is just a little basic app to tell you your CPU usage mainly. So after you have these three apps running, you're going to need the program that actually stresses your CPU. And this program is called Prime 95. So go to Google and type in Prime 95. And this first one is normally the actual website, but for some reason it's not working today. So the second one, it's the same app, and just click it, and it's only a megabyte to download, really small. And once it's done downloading, you can open it up. I'm pretty sure there's no setup at all. And what this does is it sends basically huge amounts of calculations at once to your computer's processor. So I'm going to do a torture test. There's different kinds of them, but I'm going to do the in-place large FFTs, which is going to draw my maximum heat, maximum power consumption, and some of my RAM. So I'm going to do it, and it opens 6 workers automatically because it sees I have 6 cores. And the first thing you notice is temperature shoots up to the highest it's been. Max it's been is 115. And it'll probably keep going until it finds a perfect medium between the fan speed and temperature. So it's still climbing 118, 119. And if you look on here, Prime 95 is using 83% of my CPU over 9 threads. Each core of my computer just jumped up to its maximum speed, all 6 of them. And here is my speed of my processor, 3 gigahertz right now. For some reason the AMD Turbo Boost doesn't really like this program, so it doesn't go up to what it should, which is 3.9. But as you can see, more wattage is being drawn, and more volts are being pushed through the CPU, and the core speed's up to, or the core temperature is up to 128 now. So if this is normally like good for right after you do an overclock, because if your core temperature gets up too high, it can actually melt your processor and destroy it. So leaving this on for like a full night will give you like maximum stability you could have. And at the end of like running all these stress tests, it'll tell you if it finds any errors on your processor and stuff like that. So yeah, this is just like a little stress test. If you ever overclock anything, it's pretty common that you would do this after, just to make sure everything's running right and nothing's gonna die on you. So yeah, so I stress test the computer.